How you doing, football fans? My name is Jaron Horton. Over a decade of coaching experience in the NFL, the SEC, the UFL, and the USFL. And this week we got another episode of the top plays, breaking them down, seeing where the defensive breakdown was, explaining the offensive play call process and their thinking, and how we're getting these big plays, these explosive plays. Unlike last week, this week we see a little bit more run game in the top plays, in the more explosive plays. Here we have Dallas's offense versus St. Louis's defense. St. Louis looks like they're running a quarters coverage. We can see that because we have a apex player right here, apexing between two and the end man in the line of scrimmage. And we're either playing palms or quarters, not quite sure, but some too high. We have a safety that's going to be reading down here, and he's going to fit this alley. And then this safety is either responsible for right here or for this gap. Depending on how their coverage is set up, those two players have those two gaps, and that other safety has the outside. So here what happens is it looks like how St. Louis is playing this. Pita right now, he's going to ram into the B gap. So Pita's going to ram into this gap. And if he does that, then either 19 or 15 is going to have to overlap and fit out here. And what we would really like for is when Pita's getting in here is to not allow 73 to climb up and reach this linebacker scraping over the top. Because like we said, we have a backside cutback player coming from here, whether it's the safety or this apex player. We have an extra hat coming from over here. And then we also have this fitter. We probably want him to stay outside. 17 can scrape, 51 can scrape, but really these two guys, 19 and then this linebacker right here, should hit each other in the gap. What happens is 73 is able to get upfield a little bit, and he gets just enough of 15 to knock him off. To now 19 is thinking initially, I'm going to have to get outside. This ball is getting outside, so I have to go outside to make this tackle and get it to cut back because I'm more or less the edge of the defense. But 73 is able to get up, creates now indecision for 19, and we can see our running back Day Hunter right here. He does a great job of sticking his right foot in the ground and getting vertical to where now 19 is over pursuing, and we can see he's off balance and crossed up, and then Day bursts, and this ends up being a 50-yard run right here. A big explosive play. However, great job by St. Louis of defending a blade of grass, getting the ball on the ground, able to stop Day on the 10-yard line. So now they have an opportunity to play another snap. They have a chance to play football again, to defend another blade of grass, maybe force a field goal, get a turnover, do something to where they can't score points. So our second play, once again, is another run play. Here we got DC going up against Columbus. DC comes out in a 12 formation, meaning two tight ends right here in a pair, one running back, and then we have two receivers over here in a slot formation. Columbus is a little bit late getting lined up. Looks like they're playing man, but they don't go corners over, so then the safety has to go down. So they're a little bit confused. But now they don't know whether they want to bump in or whether they want to spin, because if they were going to spin, then he would go down and he would go back to the post. But if they're just going to bump, then he should just bump across and he should just stay in the middle of the field. But here they're a little bit confused, not exactly sure what their call is and where their fits are, and we can see that well from the tight. But here, Deion Jackson does a good job finding the gap, getting vertical, showing off the speed, not getting caught, finishing for the touchdown. Now we'll see it from the tight. So initially right now, as we're saying, this is a slot formation. So this is a corner right here. Then we have a linebacker. So we're in single high, which means single high, single gap defense. Everybody's got to fit. Now he should fit right in here. He's here. He's there. He should be here. He should be here. He should be here. And he should be here. So every single gap from the offensive line is covered by a defensive player. However, now with this motion, if we're bumping it now, then everyone has to bump over a gap. So now 33 should fit right here, there. Now he is the A gap player. You can't really see the defensive tackle. He should be here. 56 should be here. And then this linebacker number 1 should really be here. He's here. And then this receiver that's coming in motion, that is who the corner, he's going to expand with him. And he should really stay in the middle of the field to really clean everything up and run the alley. But here we do bump, but 10 goes a little bit too far. He doesn't need to go that far, especially with back away, because he's thinking that with back away, that should come to him. So he can slow down a little bit because he knows that that's his A gap. He doesn't need to over pursue. And so 79 right here does a great job of on this double. Really, both of these guys do a good job. They get the double. He captures the D tackle, allowing him to get up and cut off number 10, Dawkins, to now he can get into this gap right here. And then, like we said, we don't need to spin, or we need to be on the same page, more or less. If he's coming back to the post and he's spinning down, great. That's no problem. But we can't have both of these guys down because now we don't have a post safety to kind of run the alley and be the last line of defense and clean it up. And that's what happens. The ball squirts out in really the A gap right here. The backside A gap is where it ends up hitting. And we don't have a post safety to kind of clean this up. Or even if the post safety doesn't make the tackle, he's going to be coming at this angle to make the running back have to either juke or slow down to where the pursuit can hopefully catch him. But like we said, great job by DC finding it. They were kind of running all over him this week. Columbus was having a hard time finding their run fits in this game, and hopefully they'll get that cleaned up this week going into next week and the rest of the season. So now we're looking at Louisville right here versus Columbus. Columbus's offense. This is a 3rd and 19 situation, right? 3rd and 19, and this really right before half. So this is a big situation, right? 3rd and 19. The ball is on the 40-yard line. If they throw an incompletion right here, then this is going to be really like a 57-yard field goal from where it's at, because you add 40 plus 10 for the end zone, and then 7 yards for the snap. So really, if it's on the 41, that's a 58-yard field goal from where the ball is right now. So this is a really big down, Orlando, not really sure what they're running here. Looks like they quick snap because they think that Louisville jumps. I don't think they called a flag. It doesn't look like they called a flag, so it's not really a free play. But Jack Plummer does a great job improvising, feels the rush, expands a little bit, gets out the pocket, finds his open receiver, throws a strike on the move. Great job catching the ball with his hands, and now just letting your athletes be athletes in space. I believe this is KJ Hamler, former NFL player, draft pick for the Broncos. A good player. This is his first time in spring football, I believe, and really just gets out the gate and takes advantage of Louisville's poor angles in the back end and uses his speed to finish this play. And here we can see guys really helping out their teammate, getting a block right here. I think this is Roland coming back, getting a block, really just cutting off, doing just enough to make that safety. I think that's Keaton Ellis going underneath to make that safety go underneath the block, allowing KJ to finish and score a touchdown. So now we're back in this same game, right? Orlando on offense and Louisville on defense. Here we can see it's, I mean, shoot, three-point game right here. Not much time left in the fourth quarter, right? So this is a big down. This is a big drive. We get a stop here, make them kick a field goal. It's still a one score game, right? Then it's a 6 point game, and we can let our offense go score and go win this game for us. All right. So 2nd and 4, looks like there's a little bit of miscommunication on the back end for Louisville. Don't know if the call got in late or if what's going on here, but there is a little bit of miscommunication. We're struggling to really cover. We got a guy running really more or less open right here on this bootleg action. Plummer does a great job avoiding the rush, fading away, throwing off his back foot. Really a strike right here. And then the receiver just really ends up running away from the safety. Don't know how long this drive was, but the safety kind of looks a little winded. And he just ends up running away from him right there, which is unfortunate. But a great job from Orlando to finish this drive. And here we can see these two plays from Louisville. That's not scheme. That's not like misalignments fit. It's just really yak. I mean, both of these plays were probably about combined 60, 70 yards after the catch, which is brutal. We want to, if they catch the ball, they're going to catch the ball, but we want to make the tackle. All right, here we've got St. Louis's offense versus Dallas's defense. We saw a play from the flip side in this game earlier. Here, once again, we got Dallas. Looks like they're playing probably Palms here. It's definitely a too high shell, two safeties here. But how Six is playing this, it looks like he's reading two. And how Ajane is right here. If it was true quarters, he would probably be more head up to outside of two and rerouting two. I think this is probably Palms, read two, which means if two is out to the flat right now on a quick out or a bubble, the corner is going to trigger on that, and then the safety is going to get over the top of one. And he's really playing kind of like a wall two player, where if two runs a slant, then he's going to wall that, make it go over the top, so then the safety can trigger on that. That's Palm's defense, right? So really what happens here is this is just, we see our receiver, our stud receiver, Hakeem Butler. We see him one-on-one right here, and we're just going to take our shot. And he's a 6'5" receiver. He's not necessarily a burner, but he can eat up grass because he takes those long strides, and he can really kind of be deceptively fast and eat up grass on you. And once he starts going, then he's moving. So here he gets a free release, no jam, and just allows him to get vertical, and a good ball on the money, in stride, kind of in rhythm from St. Louis here. This is just basically routes on air. So they're going to hit this more times than they're not, uncontested, to set them up with a really 1st and goal situation. Here we're coming back with Dallas's offense versus St. Louis's defense once again. We're getting a single high set right here. And this looks like to be an RPO or potentially play action. Not really sure if it's a true RPO or if it's I would say probably with this route, this double move is just a hard play action. You're not really seeing these linemen fire off the ball. They're kind of they're bumping glass instead of breaking glass, if you will. They're not really firing off the ball. They're just kind of taking one step and then really pass protecting. So here we get the double move up top from Tyler Vaughns, who is having an outstanding season. Man, this guy is a pleasure to watch. He's been on this tape last week, once again this week. Him and Austin Reed have such a great connection. Here we get the double move, making the corner slip, and then they run into each other. Great job on the route, but really what makes this play stay a great play is the hustle by our running back, Ellis Merriweather, number 35. You can see him with the play action fake right here, but he doesn't stop. Now you see him following the play, looking to get a block, but you can see here the ball pops out and Ellis is the one that recovers it. So great hustle play, run to the football. Good things happen when you run to the football. Great ball, good catch right there. Tries to put two hands on it, but good job from the corner who got beat on the play, really to end up getting the tackle and the fumble, forced fumble. But like we said, great job by 35, hustling, making his play, good things happen when you run to the football. Here we're looking at Houston offense versus Birmingham's defense. This is probably in the third or fourth quarter. This is the 50th play. Yeah, so Houston actually got a lot of plays in this game. They had like 88 plays. So they're losing right now by 5. 4 minutes left in the third quarter. 1st and 10. This is the first play of the series right here. Little play action right here. RPO. Uh, Henderson pulls it. And so really now right here, if you're in coverage, if you're in coverage and you have a man, stay on that man until the quarterback is past the line of scrimmage. Never come out of coverage until the quarterback is past the line of scrimmage. And we're going to see why right now. We come out of coverage, but the line of scrimmage is a 10-yard line. He's still well behind the 10-yard line. So we come out of coverage and he just now dumps it off. They complete the pass and it ends up being a 30-yard gain when it really, if we would have stayed in coverage, number 30 is probably going to catch the quarterback. At most, we're looking at a maybe 5-yard gain if he kind of just scampers out of bounds. But don't let a 5-yard gain turn into a 30-yard gain. Stay in coverage, do your responsibility, do your job. Here we're coming back in this DC Columbus game. Same thing, this 12 personnel formation. DC did this a lot in this game. Slot formation. So we got two receivers over here. And right now, there's nobody covering this guy, right? This guy is completely uncovered. They end up seeing it, but it's now a safety down here on the receiver. And if we're playing man coverage, that's not what we want. We want to get a corner over, safety in the middle of the field, and then a safety down on the tight end, right? That's not a good picture. We don't want a safety covering a receiver in man coverage, especially now he's getting down late. Here he's kind of in no man's land. He's off really about 8 yards. He should really want to be off at 4 or pressed, and he'd be off. But like we said, got lined up late. Teamu does a great job. He can see this in the defense that there's miscommunication. They're not really quite sure what they're doing. This is a called run, but he's got the option to throw the slot fade. And this is the third play of the game. Teamu, they just got done with pat and go in pregame. He's already warmed up. He's like, oh, shoot, pat and go. Here we go. Let me just throw this ball up on the fade, allow my receiver a chance to make the play. I believe that's Powell, and let him go. We gotta get lined up. We gotta fit better. We gotta know what we're seeing. We gotta know, hey, if we're calling man in 12 personnel, we need to get our corner to find the other receiver. Those are things that we gotta be on top of. We gotta work at in the practice week. We gotta work at in the walkthroughs. We gotta have a plan for what they're gonna do when they come out in these. I mean, these are day one formations, slot formation. You got to get corner over. Now we're getting an 11 personnel formation from DC. Right here, this is a formation that a lot of teams like to run QB power out of. They get the motion, and he can go out and block, lead block, and he can go out and block. It creates kind of a numbers advantage. And so once again, Columbus is playing single high man. And what we said last time, when they jet sweep, they're not spinning, right? Where if you spin, you can have some leverage. But now when you don't spin, this guy's never going to be able to get his leverage back. If he's outside, he's never going to be able to run faster than this receiver is and get over to the other side. He's just not going to be able to do that because he's got to go behind the linebackers and all this stuff and through the trash. So that's exactly what happens. We don't spin, and then we get cut out, and it ends up in a big play. So we'll see it from the tight. So really now what we're saying is this is QB power read, where Jordan has an opportunity to take this ball right here or hand it off. And at some point in the game, he had a nice run for like 20 yards on pulling it. But here, like we said, we're not getting over enough. We need really now this guy, Kyrie, has this guy in man coverage. If we were spinning, then this guy could foresee this and get outside and put an edge on this to make him cut back. But now since we're not spinning, he can't do that. That's his responsibility, is to get the ball back inside, but he's never going to be able to do that just based on leverage and based on how this is fit. We need to spin this if we're going to be playing man coverage to this, especially with a team that does a lot of jet motion, a lot of QB run game, and you know that they have this play in their arsenal. you're going to want to spin this. That's just something you got to want to do. Or we're going to have to, since this is a running back and a tight end, and if we're playing man coverage on this guy, then we need to cheat out a little bit. And we need to cheat out. Just anticipating, especially with this jet motion, now we need to bump. We need to bump or we need to spin. We just got to have a plan. Whatever it is, we got to have a plan. And here it just looks like we don't have a plan. And now DC takes advantage of that and gets out the gate. All right, we were going to stop at that last one, but I just wanted to show one more play to spotlight a familiar face on this list, Tyler Vaughns. We got Dallas going up against St. Louis's defense again. They're running, looks like, again, palms or quarters. Probably palms with how this corner is kind of playing this. He's kind of caught in between. Usually the line of demarcation is either 5 yards or 7 yards. And what that means is if 2 is out within 5 yards and the corner is going to jump it and the safety is going to get to 1, or if it's within 7 yards. But after that, you lock it. So here he kind of looks like he's caught in between two worlds. I think that this guy does a pretty good job of now rerouting and taking this guy. So it is kind of tough. It's right at that kind of gray area for this corner, but the safety's got to get over there too. So the corner, like we said, he kind of jumps on that out route and then the ball gets thrown over the top, but we really need that safety to take a better angle. And now when you're here, you need to turn your head and run this way because you can't run full speed when you're looking back. It's just physically impossible. Here he's looking back at the ball. I would like to see him right here. Okay, when you see that's vertical. He's going vertical. Now you look over here. Give me 3 steps. 1, 2, 3 full speed. And now if you feel like you're there, you can look back. But here, it's just that close. That close to it was just a few inches. Where if you have your good technique, you turn, you don't look back and you're not having your eyes on the ball the whole time, then you can probably go make that play. Because it's really not that far. Maybe 6, 7, 8 inches right there of difference between a PBU and a big touchdown. I appreciate you watching this video all the way through. Probably a little bit longer video today. We got through 10 plays, the 10 top plays of UFL Week 2 action. If you like this type of content, right? Film breakdowns, teach tapes, all 22 angles. Come back for more. Like and subscribe. We're going to upload these videos every week, either Thursday or Friday. And be aware for the player spotlights. Trying to get those out just about every day on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. Follow me at Jaron Horton on all platforms. Like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thank you.